Hello again and welcome to Open the Book. I wonder, have you ever seen somebody change amazingly and dramatically for the better? It doesn't happen that often, but it seems in the Bible that sometimes when people met Jesus, they changed amazingly. And I know that lots of people today who would say they've met with Jesus, and that includes me, have seen their lives change amazingly. Today, we're going to be looking at somebody who was a taxman, not a nice man at all. And we're going to find out what happened when Zacchaeus met Jesus. So we're going to open the book at the story called Jesus and the Taxman. Jesus is coming! Somebody shouted. Jesus is coming to Jericho! And everybody ran to meet him. Well, almost everybody. For there was one man, one wee little man, who did not run to meet Jesus. And his name was Zacchaeus. It's not that Zacchaeus did not want to see Jesus. He did. He really did. But not only was Zacchaeus short, he was also afraid of the crowd. Not many people liked him, you see. Partly because he was a tax collector, but mostly because he collected more taxes than he was really meant to, and he kept what was left for himself. Jesus is here! Somebody shouted. Jesus is here in Jericho! And everybody cheered as he walked through the city gates. Well, almost everybody. For Zacchaeus did not feel like cheering at all. He wanted to see Jesus. He really did, but how could he walk out there in front of all those people he'd cheated? And what would they do if they got hold of him? Then Zacchaeus had an idea. There were trees by the city gates, tall leafy trees. If he could sneak behind the crowd and climb one of those trees, he could see Jesus and not be seen himself. So off he went, out of his house, through the empty streets. And because this crowd was watching Jesus, he had no trouble at all slipping behind them and shinning up a tree. Come and eat at my house, somebody shouted. Come and eat at my house, Jesus. And because it was a great honour to host someone as important as Jesus, everybody shouted at once. Well, almost everybody. For there was one man, one wee little man, who kept his mouth shut and tried hard not to rustle the branches. Thank you very much, said Jesus. You're very kind. But I have already decided where I will eat my dinner. Then Jesus looked straight at the tree and called, Zacchaeus! Zacchaeus! Come down! I'm eating at your house today.
Zacchaeus! Somebody shouted. Jesus is eating with Zacchaeus! He's the worst man in town! There must be some mistake.
And everybody moaned and groaned. Well, almost everybody. One man, one wee little man, climbed down from the tree as shocked as the rest. Why would someone as good as Jesus want to eat with someone bad like him? But he was happy too, happier than he had been for a long, long time. And so, with a smile spreading across his face, Zacchaeus led Jesus to his house.
What are they saying?
Somebody whispered.
What are they doing in there?
And people gathered around the taxman's door. That's when Zacchaeus threw open his door with a bang.
"Greetings, everyone," he shouted. "I have an announcement to make. I've been talking with my new friend Jesus and realised that there are a few things I need to change. I've cheated some of you. I admit that. And I want you to know that I'm sorry. So sorry, in fact, that I will pay you back 4 times more than I stole from you. What's more, I intend to sell half of what I own and give the money to the poor."
The crowd was shocked. Never in their whole lives had they seen anyone change like that. They stood there with their mouths wide open and nobody said a thing. Well, almost nobody. "Don't you see," said Jesus to the crowd, "God has sent me to share his love with everybody, even those who have done some very bad things. That's what I have done. And now Zacchaeus loves God too." That's when the crowd began to cheer Jesus and Zacchaeus and the whole town of Jericho. Everybody. Now I'm going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end. Jesus, thank you that when you meet with people, they change. Jesus, I want to change too. And just think about anything that you'd like to change about yourself. Please, Jesus, come into my life and change me. Make me more like you. Amen. And I hope I'll see you again next week.